Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Anita Talks History and Genealogy. And today, I want to share with you something that is very near and dear to me, and also to let you all know that they're keeping our history from us. They're lying, and somebody from our community, many of us from our community, need to step forward and call them out on their DEI lies. Those people, not all, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, before I start, again, this is Anita Talks History and Genealogy. The opinions in here that I give you are strictly my own. I'm not speaking for anyone else. I'm speaking for myself. And also, please hit that like and subscribe button. Please share this within your own networks and communities. And also, don't forget to check out my merchandise. And don't forget to check out my books. I am the author of 7 books. All of them are available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble and many other bookstores, or through me. If you want to purchase one from, a signed copy from me, hey, do the contact and let me know. Today, I'm talking about someone who is a relative. He was a doctor. His father was a doctor. This is my mother's cousin on my paternal side, Grandpa Martin. His people, these are the Robinsons. And they lived not too far from where my grandfather and great-grandfather lived. They were all within the same area of Chester County, Pennsylvania. And so the Robinsons are, they're very educated people. And there was, a couple of doctors in the family. And there's a movie or a documentary written about this hospital. And the hospital, the name of the documentary is The Color of Medicine, and it is a story of Homer G Phillips Hospital, and it's was in St. Louis, Missouri. The story is a historic documentary, and it illustrates the value and impact of the HBCU on Black history at a time when the placement of Black medical students graduating from Howard University and Meharry Medical College were met by closed doors for internships and residencies. And so Dr. Robinson graduated from Meharry. And this is a documentary that's on YouTube. It's called The Color of Medicine. And more of you should know about this documentary. The Color of Medicine, the story of Homer G Phillips Hospital. The documentary offers a first-hand account of what it was like to be a part of the history of the G. Dr. Earle U. Robinson, Jr. ushers the viewer through the corridors of time and takes you on an intimate journey to the trials and tribulations of the Homer G. Phillips Hospital history and legacy. Yes, I have to read this off of a prompt because I don't want to in any way diminish this story. Dr. Robinson states, I have lived 87 years and have an eye and ear for the scenes and sounds and the humor and pathos that have intersected my life. I am a retired physician, and I want to make certain people have the opportunity to learn about such a monumental part in history. The best times I've had in my life were the years I spent at Homer G Phillips. Everything about the G was Black. And this is from him, from Earle U. Robinson Jr. MD. This is my mother's cousin. Due to an inability to get even adequate medical care, Attorney Homer G Phillips had the vision to build an all-black hospital in St. Louis, Missouri. A graduate of Howard University Law School, who was also the roommate of poet Paul Laurence Dunbar, Homer G. Phillips became a prominent attorney and activist who used his cash to improve the quality of life of more than 70,000 black residents. In 1923, Attorney Homer G. Phillips led the bond issue for $1 million to open an all-black hospital. However, the city fathers, we know who they are, diverted the monies for other purposes like street lighting and sidewalk installation. Although he was murdered 6 years before the hospital was built, his determination laid the groundwork, and on February the 22nd, 1937, the hospital was formally opened. And isn't it interesting that he was murdered? It's funny how we keep winding up being murdered, how our leaders wind up being murdered when they have something to offer our communities, to uplift our communities. Homer G. Phillips Hospital came into being as a result of a 23-year struggle that began in 1914 to build a medical facility staffed by black doctors, black nurses, black technicians, and black administrators. It was a period when the health care of the city's black citizens was criminally neglected by city elected officials. The neighborhood known as the Ville had a hospital reflective of its community that provided quality health care to its residents. In less than a decade, Homer G. Phillips Hospital ranked in the upper third of the 10 largest general hospitals in the country and gained a national reputation for treatment of the acutely injured. The all-black staff made innovative contributions for the treatment of gunshot wounds, burns, and ulcers, as well as techniques for intravenous protein feeding, in addition to providing a fully accredited training program for interns, residents, and schools of nursing. The hospital established schools for x-ray technicians, laboratory technicians, and medical record library service. For a period of 20 years, 75% of all black doctors in the country interned at Homer G. Phillips Hospital. And I want to say here that when I moved to Oakland in the 70s, on East 14th Street, down by Montgomery Wards, there was a black hospital where the doctors were majority black. And a lot of, that's where we felt comfortable going at that time. But of course it was closed down. Of course they're not going to provide us funds from our taxes we're paying to keep a facility open that serves us, yet they claim they don't want us in their hospitals. Anyway, by the early 1950s, Homer G. Phillips Hospital offered advanced training to certified foreign doctors, y'all, which helped ease the staff of shortages and gave an opportunity to these physician doctors who were denied training in other hospitals due to race or creed. Ironically, in 1955, before the Civil Rights Movement, despite restrictive covenants and segregation, St. Louis Mayor Raymond Tucker issued an order that patients of any race, color, or creed living in the western part of the city must be admitted to the hospital, thereby ensuring Homer J. Phillips was no longer an exclusively black institution. By 1961, it had trained the largest number of black doctors and nurses in the world. Dr. Earle Eugene Robinson, Sr., was one of the founding physicians. His son, Dr. Earle Eugene Robinson, Jr., would follow in his footsteps. Despite decades of accolades and achievements, a dramatic closure took place in August 1979 after an approved militarized siege that lasted for more than 20 days, resulting in riots and protests. You know, they were not going to let us let them have a hospital that was treating us, even though they don't want us in their hospitals. They didn't want us they never have wanted us having our own. So there was a siege from the time Homer G Phillips Hospital was dedicated in 1937 until it closed in 1979. It was there for the community. It was something that we had, that we created, and we didn't ask them for anything. But yet, these folks have to come along and destroy whatever we're setting up for ourselves. When we remove ourselves from them, they continue to come around, follow us around, and harass us wherever we are. And that's why I feel that this is so important, because we can't just let this barely literate person who wants to be a king, we can't just let them have the last word talking about DEI. Who was DEI? That hospital that I'm talking about, they forced this black hospital to have white physicians and white patients. So isn't that DEI? I would think it is, right? I mean, they weren't bothering anybody. They were economically self-sufficient. It was a hospital where people from our community could feel safe and comfortable coming, and also where doctors could come from places like Howard University and Meharry and work. And everybody was within that setting were comfortable, because these people keep saying they don't want to be bothered with us. They don't want us there. They keep talking about DEI, but yet when we set up our own, here they come. And I want to know what is that about? You know, why do you people keep feeling like you need to be in our spaces uninvited? We don't go into your spaces uninvited, you know? So, yes, Dr. Robinson, Earle Robinson Sr., okay, that's my grandfather's cousin, and Earle Robinson Jr., that's my mother's cousin. And his daughter, Earle Robinson Jr.'s daughter, Rebecca, she is the one that produced this film. And of course, they did not give it the coverage that it deserves. So that's why I'm talking about it. And I'm hoping that you all will go and check the film out. And also, you know, do some research and find out who's in our community, who's doing what in our community. And when they talk about DEI, have something to say, that have something to say about the lies they're telling when they're talking about DEI. And here is this person who is barely literate, President of the United States. Epstein's, he and Epstein's filed more than Epstein is. He's 34 felonies, you know, and accused of rape by a minor. Yet he's talking about our people not benefiting, our people benefiting from DEI. Let me ask you all a question. Who do you think flies planes in Africa? Who do you think the doctors are in Africa? The nurses, the scientists, the technicians are in Africa? they're all, I bet you, 95% of them look like us. I bet 95% of them are African. Yet they managed to fly planes. They managed to be doctors and to run hospitals, to set up hospitals. They managed to be scientists. So why do we, allow this ignorant person and his regime to call us out? Because what they do is try to keep us separate from other people of color, like in Africa, so that we don't see that these people are running beautiful cities, building cities. These people are and have been able to take care of themselves for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, since the beginning of time, actually. Yet he comes and drops something as ignorant as DEI, and none of our so-called leaders call him out to his face. Oh, but he's avoiding them. He ain't gonna sit in a room with Barack Obama. He ain't gonna sit with none of them that's gonna call him out. But us DEI folks, our children and grandchildren, he wants them to go to war, don't he? Anyway, despite decades of accolades and achievements, a dramatic closure took place in August 1979 after an approved militarized siege that lasted for more than 20 days, resulting in riots and protests. From the time Homer G Phillips Hospital was dedicated in 1937 until it closed in 1979, the Black community was preoccupied with the fight to keep the doors open. Efforts to close the facility were led by numerous white politicians. The two medical schools of Washington and St. Louis universities, the publishers and editors of the two daily newspapers, and downtown financial leaders. These forces constituted a serious and continuous agitating catalyst for closure. More importantly, the hospital's closure invited disparate actors to ponder the meaning of progress, racial progress, modernization of regional health facilities, and urban utopian vision for St. Louis's future. The extreme length taken to undermine a thriving institution, primarily due to its achievements and the demographic it served, underscores the message that continues to persist. What we learn is that medicine has a price and a color. Okay. So this is the story, and I'm going to put the link to the documentary in my comments, so that you all can look at the documentary, and it's on YouTube. And I just felt it in my heart. I should have done this Black History Month, but I felt it in my heart that folks need to know about this. And these people who were educated, who were doing the right thing, and every time that we do the right thing, these folks come, just like they did in Tulsa, just like they did in Rosewood, and burn it down. They come and destroy it. And you have to wonder what's going on. How can we live in peace? They want to segregate themselves from us, but they don't want us to segregate ourselves from them. Isn't that an oxymoron? Yeah. So please check this out. This side of my family, actually, Dr. Robinson, he's part indigenous too. Their families, great-great-great-grandmother, Tamsin Page, it's great-great-grandmother Tamsin Page. She was indigenous. She was Mohawk, Um, and her husband, Uriah Martin, was Mohawk, you know. So they were intermarrying in the community they were in. They were in and around Westchester, Pennsylvania. And they attended the AME church there. There was a Shiloh, I think it's Shiloh or something like that. But they attended the church there, and they, you know, um, became colored, mulatto, colored, Negro, black, and, became a part of the community. But they're good people. They're, they were scientists, and there's a bunch of them in my family, and I feel so blessed to know and be a part of and to share this information with you all. So please enjoy it and share it, and let's talk about our achievements. Let's not let these people have the last word about who we are and and what we have done on this planet. And keep your peace and stay woke. Bye.